Hi, I'm Max. In this video, we're going to talk about David Dobrik's stupid little apology and watch this video and talk about it so you don't have to. First 10 minutes of this podcast are entirely wasted by David talking about himself and everything that has nothing to do with the apology and nothing to do with Jeff. So I'm just going to skip right to that 10-minute mark, and this is where it starts to get weird. So let's talk about that a little bit.
I know whatever a person's going through, like, it's going to be okay at the end of it.
Yeah, I don't think Jeff's going to be okay at the end of it. He's going to have to deal with this the rest of his life.
Like when you see like celebrities or like any prominent person be interviewed or like anybody interviewed in general, it's like, what would you tell yourself when you were younger? And like 70% of the answers are like, it's going to be okay. You know what I mean? So like,
yeah,
if I was to take,
it's not. Trust me, I'm on the other side.
Well, maybe I'm wrong.
No, it is gonna be okay.
Why are they making a joke of this? I feel like this is a really serious matter, and there's like a lot of jokes that are just kind of like thrown into this podcast, which makes it very hard and weird to listen to.
That's how I look at it. Like, this stuff can't last forever. Maybe it can.
You know what can last forever is Jeff Wittick's eye injury and the fact that you basically almost killed him.
Maybe I just shot myself in the face with that, but
Well, there's a lot of issues on the table, and probably the first thing is Jeff. We should talk about that and what's going on, and how you feel about it.
Right. Recently, our friend Jeff Wittick, posted some stuff about me, just about the accident and about how things have been handled, and
You didn't call him on his surgery,
yeah,
stuff like that.
and I think I think there's things that I haven't really spoken about. I've never spoken about the surgery or the incident in general.
Yeah, it's taken him till now, which is about 2 years later, to talk about it. Meanwhile, he's on his channel posting vlog after vlog, going on vacation after vacation, and just kind of ignoring it, even though we all know that this has happened.
So I think it's kind of time for that.
And we asked Jeff to come today and be on the podcast. He didn't want to, and we respect that.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
I would prefer to do that with him here.
Yes, we do.
But
that's also a reason I don't like doing any of this stuff.
I don't like doing it either. I agree with you.
I think like talking about someone when they're not in the room is like a really strange thing.
No, not when you have Jeff and all these other people you have to apologize to and own up to your mistake. It's not weird.
I think you can tear open a person when they're in the room right next to you and like making eye contact, but I think it's a whole nother to talk about somebody when they're not there with you.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Jeff thing is the fucking worst because before I even say anything, like that day is like the worst thing that's ever happened to me, and I wish I would fucking do anything to take that day back.
I feel like this was a pretty easily avoidable situation, right? Like, it took a lot to set this up. It's so easy to just have simply not done this, right?
My hand is shaking. I mean, anything. Like, I'm being dead ass. Like, I wish it was me up there. I wish whatever. Like, it's like, it's the most unfortunate thing ever. And I think, and it's it's an accident. That's what it was. It's an accident. Like, I also want to make that clear. I don't know if people think that there's never a world where I would ever want that to happen to a person. I was never up there like driving the thing wanting to hurt him or whatever it was. Like, that was never the thing.
And David will continue to pull off these stupid stunts just for the sake of his fans, for the sake of the views, and he still will continue to not care about this.
And I think recently, so Jeff's gotten angry recently with me, and I don't know. There's a lot of layers to it. I feel like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think one of the main reasons Jeff is bummed with me right now is because
right now he's bummed with you for the rest of his life, let alone he's not your friend anymore.
Because he saw me do an interview where I said something that I promised him I'd keep between us.
No, you almost killed him, dude. Hey, you almost killed him.
And that's something he told you.
Yeah.
And I figured that that's what it was, and then you reaffirmed it when you told me that he's pissed that I broke a promise. This is so hard to talk about because like I don't want to fucking sound. Yeah, okay. So it was the day of whatever it was. It was
You've never talked about the accident. You want to go through it?
yeah. I mean, we were filming a video, like my comeback video. I haven't posted in a while, and we wanted to do something exciting. And there was this YouTuber that we were collaborating with for it that like did these really cool like really cool visuals of like people doing the coolest things. And one of them was people were like wakeboarding. I don't know what that's called while holding on to an excavator. And that was like one of like 5 things we were gonna do. That was like the first activity that we had planned to shoot.
Wow, sounds like a really awesome activity, David.
And yeah, the morning came where we were in Utah. We were filming it, and yeah, we were getting the shots, wakeboarding.
I'm going to sit here and wait for the amount of times that he's going to say I. Let's see how that goes.
Jeff came up to one of my buddies, one of our friends. I don't know why I say it like that. And then later to me, and he was like, this is fucking boring as shit. What are we, like, preschoolers? Like, let's do something cool. And he said he wanted to swing from it. And I loved the idea. I was like, hell yeah, let's do it.
Not the victim blaming. Jesus Christ.
So, I remember too, like, right before we had gotten to Utah, Jeff, Todd, and I were all getting skydive certified. So we were like, we had all done like 20 jumps out of an airplane. Like, we were like high on life. Yeah, right. I remember we all like, the 3 of us had like this like.
One thing that's really weird about this whole thing is how much time they spend killing between what's supposed to be an apology, just literally talking about nothing. And it's really, really weird. Like, this could have been maybe a 10-minute video altogether, but for some reason it's 53 minutes with 2 minutes of content that isn't actually anything.
And like being able to do.
You guys were adrenaline junkies for like a week.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And I remember you took one van in the morning, and then I took everybody else in another van a couple hours later.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember going down, dropping everybody off, and I had to poop. And I remember walking down and looking at the stunt and being like, I'm going to check this out. I'm going to see what everyone's doing. And I saw it, and it was just the crane just taking people around wakeboarding, and it was pretty slow. And I was like, okay, that looks fine.
Right.
I'm gonna go poop. And it was really far away from the Rite Aid that I had to poop at.
All right, this really doesn't have anything to do with Jason, except for the fact that Jason wasn't there. So he spends all his time to say that I wasn't there. He could have just said that.
I think pressure on Matt.
On that.
Oh, I think there's a lot. I think there's a lot to be said with just that as well. Like, I think that's why I don't want to make the kinds of videos I was making before. Was there was this like pressure to perform. So there was like, and not. I don't know. I'm like 50-50 on it because it's like
The only person pressuring yourself to perform is you. You're the one that takes out your phone and will start filming a vlog on a whim and force people to do and say things that they don't want to do.
on one side, like, that's how things are made that are great. Like, everybody wants to contribute. Everybody wants to make it bigger. Everybody.
Oh, yeah, David. Exactly. Huh? Huh? No. That's just David talking. No one else is saying that.
Wants to make it better. Like, that's how great things are made. Is like people have a motive and people have a desire to make something amazing. And I think that's what helped with my videos is each and every one of my friends wanted to contribute. And the reason they were so good is because all my friends helped me with the videos. And yeah, so like on one side, I think like that's exactly how something great is done. But on the other side, I could see how like that environment can get dangerous. So when we got to the hospital,
No, you can't. Otherwise, you would have stopped this entirely. So clearly, he didn't see that.
Jeff was in pretty good spirits. It's a really hard thing to like navigate when you're in the hospital with something like that, because you don't know whether or not to be like super serious and caring or goofy, right?
Huh? Why would you want to be goofy? You almost killed your friend.
I don't know how to do that. And I remember Jeff told me to check my DMs, and it was a video that he found like 15 minutes before the accident that somebody posted And he said, let's recreate this. And it was a guy.
And here's another part where he ends up blaming Jeff. Wow, it's Jeff's fault because Jeff sent this video. So this is Jeff's idea. Let's deflect the issue. It's Jeff. It couldn't be David. There's no way that this would be David.
Swinging from an excavator and flying off. I didn't see that DM till the hospital. And he jokes. He's like, I didn't mean literally, haha, like he joked. That was the first time I saw the DM. That was the first time I opened it. And then he asked, he's like, can you promise me one thing? And I said, what? And he's like, can you just promise that no one ever knows that this was my idea? And I was like, absolutely. Like, that's not a big deal. And then
I don't think that's how it went. And when you watch Jeff Wittick's podcast where he talks about it, that's exactly not what happened. That's just David saying that out loud to try to cover up for what he's done and to try to make people who somehow still like David after all these terrible things he's done to still like him. That's his little attempt, and it's not a good one, and it's not a good look, and you shouldn't do that.
promise I broke recently. And I don't know. And here's the thing. I don't understand why that bothered him so much. Because at the end of the day,
See what I mean? This is so I feel like a lot of this video is going to be me like shrugging. It's so painful to watch because he's just deflecting things on Jeff most of the time.
I was the one fucking driving it. It was
Right.
my video. I was the one sitting there. It's fucking clear as day. I am the one controlling the thing. He got hurt because I was driving. That's it. And I fucking know that. And like I said, I would, any chance I would get, I would take that back. Any chance I would get. And that'll be the biggest regret of my life, my entire life. I really hope there's not a moment that I regret as much as that one. But yeah, and then we.
It's like a pride thing. He didn't want to.
Okay, yeah, whatever it was. I just
Yeah.
whatever it was. I was like, yes, I can keep that. And then it got like a little bit.
I feel like this is how a lot of terrible apologies are too. They always are like tripping on their words because they don't want to admit to the truth, or they're just not a good enough person to admit to the truth. So they have to try to find a way to think they're going to do that while also still trying to make sure their fans like them. And that's the unfortunate reality of YouTube.
We started filming. So there's some things that I wish Jeff was a little bit more truthful on, but given the circumstance, it's so hard because he's hurt. So that's why I hate talking about this, because he is a victim. Like, he got fucking hurt. His face is crushed. He has to go to multiple surgeries. Like, I understand that. So it's like really tough, like going back and forth
Here are some
when this is so like
here are some of the
gray.
Here
What is there to go back and forth on, right?
some of the things that he's told me that I are legitimate. They're legitimate gripes. Like he came to the house to do a Hawaii video, and he thought, and you had planned the Hawaii trip the same day as one of his surgeries, so there was no way that he could go to Hawaii, but he was here for the return of the video. So, which is,
But
like,
we didn't plan that trip till
When we didn't know when he was getting his surgeries, we never know.
and we didn't plan that trip
Right.
till like everyone came. I surprised them with the trip,
Right.
and like on camera I said,
They did know. Jeff told them. So they did know that information. So I don't know why they're playing this off like, oh, we didn't know. Sorry, we didn't know. Sorry.
in 3 days, like just to get a cool reaction. I don't even know if I included that, but it wasn't for like weeks after we
Right.
went, because we were checking everyone's schedule, and then his surgery came up last minute, so that wasn't.
and the hospital bills, which is one of his gripes, and his credit is messed up, is what he told me. But you guys are saying that you have tried to pay the hospital bills, right? But his
Well,
assistant hasn't reached back out.
Well, let me get into that.
Okay,
I think the hospital bills.
this is tough. I'm not like trying to speak for Jeff, but I think it's fair that
No.
someone does.
No. Definitely someone should
know.
be speaking for Jeff because he's not here. But that stuff is tough because I think it goes along with what I'm about to say. So, well, let me get to the house. Should I talk about the hospital bills or should I go? think we skipped a lot here.
Yep.
Okay, so
Go back.
okay, so let me go back. So then we started filming.
David's clearly not prepared to talk about this / give the right information on it, which is why he was hesitating and has to backtrack himself.
There's a lot of things that I wish were more like honest and transparent. And that was that it was Jeff wanted to keep the accident to ourselves for a while.
I think he also just wasn't comfortable with like the way that he looked. He didn't want to show people until, he was ready.
That's understandable.
Right. And what bums me out is I see a lot of things. I don't know if he said it or where it was like put into the universe that like I kept this from people. Like, I mean, for multiple reasons, I wouldn't keep that from people. One,
I wonder where this information was. It certainly wasn't because you didn't talk about it. No, that couldn't have been the reason why. What kind of logic is that? When something of that nature happens and then you just don't talk about it and continue to post like nothing's happened? Hey, yeah, people are going to say something to you. There's so many people that know you.
it's because it's his fucking face. It's his life. Like, he's allowed to share it whenever. And two, that would just be extremely stupid of me trying to hide something as brutal as that. Like, I would never, ever do that. And that never happened. We were following his lead. So when he wanted to make a doc, like, I was there. Like, I was like, whatever you need me to do, like, however I'm going to be in this, like, I'll be in it. And I think the doc is where things started to get a little strange, because I remember we were in Utah. We went to like 3 or 4 surgeries with him. I'm not sure, back to Utah. And one of them, we were filming the doc, and one of his guys that works with him went up to Taylor and was like, we really want to make David cry in this piece. We really want him to know what he's done. And there was more of what he said to Taylor, but that was kind of the thing that resonated with me the most. And that's where I started to feel like, oh, fuck, like, what's going on here? Like,
so that's what it took for David to like slightly even think about this? That? It didn't take the injury itself when it happened. No, for sure it didn't. It took until people were trying to force him to cry. Which, yeah, David should rightfully feel some sort of way about this, because clearly he hasn't.
someone's not being transparent with me here. Like, I almost feel like I'm being pushed into a corner. That made me feel really like uncomfortable and scared. And
Good. He should be pushed into a corner. Rightfully so.
Hey, why? What's wrong with what is wrong with you crying in the doc?
well, because it's just like a weird thing to say. I felt like it was like, I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but like that to me felt like, I don't know.
Felt like maybe what you deserved. Maybe. Just a thought. Just a thought.
Like, it just didn't feel. It just felt weird.
Yeah, and also I think you know, the doc came after a bunch of other bad shit that happened.
Right, and I think it came at the wrong time, and it's tough with like. And it's tough, and then the doc got into things like how like I'm not there for him, like we don't talk enough, and a lot of that was true. Like, I've never had a harder time communicating with a person than I have with him during.
One weird thing that I can't stop thinking about while I'm watching this is the fact that there's still fans out there and people who are commenting that are probably out here being like, oh, poor David. Oh, David, hope you feel better soon. David, we all deal with things like this. And it's like, no. This is like the third thing in a row that has happened, and he should have just stopped after one, but nope.
And you know, it's for multiple reasons. It's for me fucking just being bad at that shit and not knowing how to handle like such a serious situation. And I also didn't know if he needed space. Like, every time I would talk to him, Jeff is like a guy who like is very tough when you're to his face, and is like, I don't need this. I don't need you doing this. Like, I'm good. I'm strong. But then when you create that distance, it's like, what the fuck?
Yep.
He's not fucking, not talking to me. And then like,
The good old victim blaming.
he's like, if I ever see Dave, I'm going to fucking beat his ass.
Right.
So it's like, and that happened multiple times from multiple different friends where he would like complain about. So like, I wouldn't know, like, do you want to see me more so you can beat my ass? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know how to go about that in a way where it's not hurting him more seeing me. Cause that accident is so bad where like, I would understand if he wouldn't want to see me because I'm associated with like
Yeah.
such a shit fucking time. And back to the secret that he wanted me to keep.
And David will continue to keep blaming the communication of this and continue to put the blame on Jeff because no, couldn't be him. No way.
I was all hands on deck for that, but I feel like I can take, 80% of the responsibility, 90%, 100% of the responsibility for the accident, whatever he needs me to do. But that, then when it gets to the point where it started to feel like I was taking 150% of the responsibility, I
Right.
started to see things like David fucking forced his friend up there, like all this kind of stuff, like that was just fucking insane. And it like felt like people thought I like literally sent him up there just so he can fucking swing off this thing.
Right.
Like that was not the case. And like the more and more that happened, the more I was like, what is going on? Like this is not what happened. It was a combined decision we made, and it was a complete accident. And I'm so fucking sorry that accident happened, but it did, and there's no going back from that. Like there's nothing we can do. And yeah, I wish it was more like that. And then when it started to be like more 150% on me, I started to get, I don't know, I guess like it just freaked me out more. I was just like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. And then
When it started to be on you, it was on you from the second that it happened. It never started to be on you. It's been on you the entire time, David.
medical payments, so far we've paid, I think I just had accounting check and it was like $78,000 of surgery. And I don't know what that equates to. I don't know what that is, but I just don't love the fact that he's going around saying I don't pay for surgeries. Like that fucking hurts. Like I want to help him. I
Sure.
really truly do.
Yeah.
And like he still has my word. Like I told him that I pay for surgeries. He can still and the reason
Let's see what Jeff has to say about this.
I didn't know I'd be getting surgeries every month. That whole accident, sweep it under the rug. I got him a Hawaii trip. No, bro. I had surgery planned that you can't just book these surgeries like haircuts. You have to book them months in advance.
You guys are saying that you have tried to pay the hospital bills, right? But his
Well,
assistant hasn't reached back out.
well,
Bro,
let me get into
Ivan
that.
is the
Okay.
most efficient assistant in the world. He used to be president of a major film studio. This guy is like, what the hell's going on? Nobody responds. He's on it every single day. He's the one who brought it to my attention that there's an infraction on my credit because they won't respond. Ivan said, do we have to go to litigation with this insurance company? Natalie goes, oh, are you suing us now? If you fucking pay attention to the emails, Ivan's on it every single day.
So now that you've seen that, you have an idea of the kind of bullshit that's coming out here. David, he's going to have surgery the rest of his life. He will continue to deal with this until the day that he dies. This is an ongoing thing.
But also, no one's looping us into what we need to be paying for. And to this day, like, I'm still keeping my word. Like, I want him to send me whatever he needs me to pay for. Like, I will pay for it. But it's just not fair to say that we haven't been paying for it because
I've paid literally every single bill that has ever
we've
been
paid
said.
every bill and well as long as he needs it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
This is good. you're speaking your mind and speaking your truth and your side of it, and it's good.
Having Jason here is so cringe. It just sucks that we have to have these shots cutting back to Jason going, yes, David, yes, this is nice. Yes, David. It's like, it really didn't need to be in this.
At the end of the day, like, none of this matters. Like, nothing I say, nothing he says, nothing we say together will ever fix what happened. Like, that's the end of the fact. And, like, and that's what sucks is, like, it just can't be changed, and it's a fucking really shitty accident.
You know what can be changed is you can actually apologize and own up to your mistake. And I feel like that's the second time I've had to say this now. But this apology just feels like it keeps looping. I'm going to jump ahead a little bit here.
You know, I honestly think he'll see this and, you know, really appreciate this.
No, he's not going to appreciate this. I think this has done probably more damage than it has fixed anything because David still has not apologized and owned up to this, and we're 30 minutes deep in the video. So what good has happened here? Nothing.
You think?
I think he will because I do. I do. And Jeff, if you're watching, I think that you will appreciate this. I know he'll appreciate this because he, I think he just feels unheard, and he feels like he was swiped under the rug and stuff like that. And just you talking about it for the first time.
Well, yeah, I would feel that way too if nobody talked about this for a few years or no one publicly said anything about it and just swept it under the rug the whole time, which is exactly what David did.
Pays a lot of credence to what happened, and it'll probably really help with some healing. And I'm not to say maybe there's some things that we said that pissed him off too, but I think it's really good.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
and it's a start. It's a start. And and I don't really care what the comments say. I don't really care what anyone has to say. This is all between us. And we're doing this so we all can heal and move on.
Yeah, I don't think this is about moving on and just letting go of this. This is someone's life that's been affected for the rest of their life. So this isn't a moving on situation.
And ultimately hope things get better for Jeff too.
Yeah.
You know, and this is our way of doing it. You know.
I think it's also important to note that just because this is the first time that this conversation is happening, like publicly for people to listen to, doesn't mean that it hasn't happened multiple times
my God.
in private.
Yeah.
Which is the frustrating part of all of this, is that there have been many conversations that cover all of this.
That's my least favorite too. It's also like really tough when, like, I can see from Jeff's perspective, like it's probably really tough when he sees my videos and I'm like traveling the world and I'm having this like fucking time of my life, and it's like,
and he's getting his eye cracked open.
yeah, and it's like, and it totally looks, you know, I haven't mentioned this, like no one can even fucking tell that I want to fucking blow my fucking brains out.
Yeah.
And
So just, hey, don't go on vacation. How about you just stop making videos and you fix the situation and you own up to your apology? It's like the 7th time I've had to say this now.
that's part of the reason I want to do this is like, this weighs on me every fucking minute of every day of my life. Ah, fuck, I'm so lame. But like,
it's like maybe the 2nd or 3rd time that he has said me, and look at where he's at.
fucking, it's like the worst. Why are you crying? No, it's just,
I feel so bad.
Oh, poor David. Oh, I'm sorry you feel bad. Sorry. Why is he sorry that David feels bad? What is there to feel bad about? Look at him. Look at his face. Why? Look at his face. Why do you feel bad? David effed up.
it was your fault. You shouldn't have left for the bathroom. No.
Ha ha, funny joke, David. Stuff that's so serious like this, when you make those little jokes, they mean nothing. Those jokes are not serving any purpose. They're not helping the situation. They're just so unnecessary.
No.
I feel so bad for you, man.
No.
And
No, don't do that.
I know. And Jeff, I feel bad for Jeff.
Yes.
And Jeff is the first person I feel bad for.
And there he is trying to cover up his tracks by saying, actually, Jeff is the first person that I feel bad for, even though I just cried on camera and felt bad for you, David. I actually feel bad for Jeff first. I swear that's what I really meant.
This conversation has happened with Jeff face to face a good number of times. I remember when he was making the doc, we went for a car ride around, and he was like, "Hey, I know you've apologized to me in person, but I want you to do it on camera so people can see." And I was like, "Okay." So we rode around for 45 minutes, and tears were shed, and there was a lot of conversating, and he was really fair to me in the car, and we were really fair with each other. Like, it was very amicable, and like it was very sweet, and we got back.
All right, this has nothing to do with anything. Let's skip ahead.
I think at the end of the day, like, this has been such a shitty situation. Like, from
This has been such a shitty situation for like the 5th time. This has been such a shitty situation. Why does he need to keep saying that? We heard you the 3 other times.
the moment it happened to the last couple months, and like I said, there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about this, and I'm so sorry that this happened to you, Jeff. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, and
That this happened to you. Hey, David, what happened? Want to tell us what you almost did? Want to tell us? Should we keep watching to see if you tell us?
And I wish it was easier. I wish it was easier to deal with this. I wish we were both better communicators.
We were both. What does this have anything to do with Jeff? This is on you, David. Oh my god, this is just so hard to watch. My god. He just keeps spiraling back and forth, one thing to the other, and it just keeps ending up being a repeat. And it's so annoying. And he can't even bother to look at the camera once. Anytime he gets talking about this, he is looking everywhere but at the camera. He's too afraid to even look up at the camera, let alone too afraid to own up to Jeff.
I don't know. It's so fucking shitty, and there's nothing I can say here that will fix everything. So that's why it's like, that's why this is so tough.
That's why you haven't said anything.
And I also, like, I'll see comments sometimes like, did he forget what he did? Or did people forget? And it's like, fuck no. I will never forget. I will fucking never forget. I used to love longboarding. And one day I went down this fucking steep hill,
Yeah.
and I ate
Who cares about you longboarding?
I think what I learned recently, and like quite recently, is that it's not only like putting yourself in other people's shoes, but it's like putting yourself in their shoes as them, as the way they process things.
Wow.
I think like
That's what putting yourself in their shoes means.
I was putting myself in people's shoes, and I was just like, oh, that wouldn't bother me. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean.
See you get off the fucking couch and smile is all I care about.
And all Jason wants to see is that David is happy. Why are we not talking about Jeff here? What is going on?
Here, and like not giving you guys the full scoop of everything. And
Yeah, how about you stop making your stupid little videos so you don't have to hear that stupid little laugh? His videos are not even entertaining. I've never found a David Dobrik video interesting or cool or exciting. There's nothing to his videos that I care about.
I don't know. I also want to be clear that I'm not, this video isn't a video where I'm pointing fingers at people.
The whole video has been you pointing fingers at Jeff. What are you talking about? Honestly, I can't continue to watch this. It's just so sickening to watch him continue to victim blame Jeff. And the video never gets better in the last, 4 minutes left. And it's kind of a shitty video. So that is my take on it. I would love to see what you guys have to say about it. If you guys enjoyed this video, also let me know. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll talk to you guys later. All right, bye.